Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. This is the second video of two that I put out tonight. It's very rare for me to do that, but I didn't think I could do everything in one video. It would have been too long. The last video that precedes this was very Japan-centric, and this one is going to be very Ripple XRP-centric. And I'm going to show you how all the pieces of business with distributed ledger technology and XRP are coming together. I know on days like today, it doesn't feel like it, but the progress is real. And I want to show you that there is good news coming from MoneyGram. This is an announcement that is coming after the announcement of Ripple as a working partner. Also, XRP is not a security, according to the UK. And there are 3 RippleNet members who are leveraging their strategic positions in a very interesting way. And liquidity, specifically XRP liquidity, is ample, ready, and waiting, and that regulatory clarity is recognized by the IMF in a new June survey. And then we're going to learn about some Asian payment connectivity from someone at Ripple in Bangkok coming up at the end of this month. But first, finally, MoneyGram has some running room. So thanks to Bank of America, that debt that I talked about in the Zoo stream that was due March of 2020 is now given some 3 years of running room. You can see here in this announcement which I'll put in the description below, that they are getting some 3-year revolving credit lines. And thanks to @Dodler4x on the direct mail he sent me on Twitter, I learned about this, and I'm really happy to see it because that huge amount that was due in March was very concerning. So this, I think, is a good thing, because now some people might say that this is going to make their urgency to improve less urgent. I don't think so, because when you don't have enough money to do what you need to do in business, that sets you back. So I think this is a real positive. All right, and this is the Financial Conduct Authority. They think it's final. Basically, they are saying that XRP is a utility token. This consultation paper breaks down the different tokens, their security token, exchange token, and the utility token. And XRP is very much like Ethereum, they say. It is a utility token, but there is also a little bit of a mixed feature in regards to also being an exchange token, because you can use it to run an application, which makes it a utility token, but it also has a little bit of that exchange feature when it also can be used as a means of payment. So it's quite nice. Brad Garlinghouse was very thrilled to see this as well, because he tweeted on it. Now here is the 3 partners I want to highlight, because the Access Bank, the Rakbank, and the Cargills Bank are doing some interesting business in leveraging their strategic partnerships and their locations in this world. The Axis Bank was the first bank in India to use the Ripple network for cross-border payments all the way back in January 2017. This actually happened a while ago, but I thought it was worthy of noting, because I didn't know about this. They won the Asset Asian Award a little bit back when they first started using the Ripple blockchain project. They got the Most Innovative Emerging Technologies Project Award in India, which I think is great. So now you can see, when I take you to the next story, that there is an article in the Arabian Business, and it's an interview article from the CEO of Rakbank, and he is Mr. Peter England, and he's been on RippleNet a while now, and he just has great things to say. And they are going to send fast border payments to the Access Bank, the beneficiaries in India. And you can see he goes on to state that the age of blockchain powered instant low-cost bank remittances is quickly taking shape, and we see this is a trend that will carve out its own niche. Appetite for technology improves economic participation and competition, and there is clearly a role for banks to play in developing and supporting companies engaged in blockchain. So he's been a RippleNet user since November 2017. And then when we take that third partner, we can see an article that came out on Saturday, July 13th, that Rakbank now is going to offer customers the facility to remit money instantly to Sri Lanka, and that is going to the Cargills Bank. They are paving the way for customers to make instant, frictionless, and secure money transfers, these services, to the Sri Lanka Cargills Bank via blockchain using the RippleNet platform. So this is just really wonderful to see all three of these working together. And then if the regulatory clarity can just get done, we're going to see companies like Liquid Falcon. This is something that they tweeted out recently. India with a turnaround in cryptocurrencies, question mark. We heard this before, so hopefully something will come out of this at this time. And then you can see there is the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. So who is Liquid Falcon? They are market makers, and they are specializing in the crypto assets for institutional financial companies. They are using a best practice for those traditional financial markets. They're the best-in-class partner in the digital asset sector in the Southeast Asian region. They're located in Singapore, and I think their team actually is the best in class, because they have a bunch of astute mathematicians, traders, and some full stack developers. And they are ready to move those channels with XRP. Can't wait. So when we look at that regulatory feedback coming from a lot of different locations in the world, like Africa, Asia, Europe, Middle East, and the Western Hemisphere, the IMF put out this new, the Fintech experience so far, and it's a survey, and you can find that 76% of those surveyed have made modifications to facilitate payment services with crypto assets. 2/3 of the countries really identify the gaps in the existing legal framework, particularly for the financial sector and crypto assets. And they want to amend those legal laws for continued innovation. And 68% also said that there is a need for international standards to close that gap so that they can relate to the cross-border activities and crypto assets. So there is push coming from all sides of the ecosystem, and the rails are being put in. The liquidity is ready and waiting. I'll tell you, like Notorious says, when the regulatory clarity is clear, buckle up. And then in Bangkok, you can see that there is a Fintech Fair 2019. I think it's on the 18th and 19th, of this month. And from Ripple, you'll have in two of the sessions, but this one in particular, Sagar Sarbhai is going to be on the panel, and they're going to talk about the ASEAN payment connectivity. Now, what I have learned is from these Fintech fairs is that usually when you see a panel, you can draw some connection between those panelists. So I'm going to guess if you go down a rabbit hole on any of these panelists, like the National Bank of Cambodia, for example, you're going to find connections to Ripple. All right, everybody, are we going to move to the fluff? We are. Okay, so the last video, I talked a little bit about how you can do your mental strengthening by getting under a very cold waterfall and meditating. Well, one of the places you can also do it is a place I'm going to highlight here, which is Mount Takao. It's only 50 minutes from central Tokyo by train, and more than 2.6 million people hike annually. You can see it has a paved road, and it's not too far. It's basically a place you can escape the city. You can go by yourself or you can book a day tour, but the hike is only about 90 minutes. So if you're not into hiking, then take the cable car, but it'll take you up to a height from base to summit, uh, which is 599 meters. And I want to show you the view that you get of Mount Fuji. This is, of course, a wintertime view because of the snow, but it's a wow view. And then if you are so lucky to come to Japan in January, and sometimes this date is before or after the 26th, it just depends. It only happens a few times a year, but the phenomenon is when the rising or setting sun, depending on what side of the mountain you're on, aligns with the peak, and you get this diamond effect. And if you do a search on Diamond Fuji, you'll see lots of people's photographs. You can actually see it from Tokyo if you're in the right location at the right time. And it is something that everybody tries to see at least once in their life. Okay, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.